Hello, I'm Elgato and welcome back to the video. Today I'm going to talk about and show you how to ruin your controls in Minecraft. This might seem like something you'd never really want to do, like why do you want to ruin something for yourself? But actually there is a really fun challenge in seeing just how much you can deprive yourself of any controls in Minecraft console. So this is possible because of the new control system which allows you to turn off controls, and today I'll be telling you how you can turn off the most controls while still technically being able to beat Minecraft, and hopefully you all do enjoy the video teaching you how to do that. So like that if you do like it because it helps out the channel a lot, and let us know you do like these sorts of ridiculous challenge videos. Again, this isn't going to help you in regular Minecraft, but it might give you a fun challenge, which is what you're looking for. That's why I hope you're doing, and that's what I'm going to be doing later today in a stream. So yeah, with that kept in mind, I will be doing this myself. How do you get rid of the most controls in Minecraft? Well, first, let's start by talking about what controls can be gotten rid of. So first of all, if you technically, if you want to just see the most nuns here, you should probably get rid of all of these controls right here because they don't affect regular survival. But if you just mean I want to play regular survival and have the least options available to me, well, basically what you want to do is slowly one by one work out what you don't need and eliminate it. Because as you can see, there's like a solid, I believe that's 10 separate options we have right here, but not all of these are necessary, per se, to play the game, which means that what we can do is we can be like, one by one, let's remove them. So the two obvious ones are sprint and pick block first, get rid of those, make sure they're gone, and suddenly, yeah, you've got, 10 slots instead of 12, but the rest of the 10, the ones that are on there by default, are a little bit harder, because change camera mode, actually, I don't really need that. So the way you get rid of these, in case you're curious, is to pick another, command. So let's say, right stick down, and then you just replace it with that, and it gets rid of sneak/dismount, but then we go into it again, and we replace sneak/dismount, and boom, we got rid of change camera mode. We don't need that, it's gone. So now we have 9 controls, but really, change camera mode isn't that useful. Getting rid of it isn't that much of a challenge. So what if we also say, we also probably don't need, like the inventory. Like no inventory for us in this game mode. That's a really severe one. So let's just say, yeah, let's say no sneak/dismount first, actually. So we'll go to inventory, we'll press the right stick down, and then we'll press our regular one back, and suddenly we've got rid of sneak/dismount. So now I cannot ride horses, or I am trapped in them forever, and also I cannot sneak over the edge of stuff. So, it makes things a little bit trickier. But then we get to the really tricky stuff, because you've got the core 8 commands of like, I think you need most of these, right? Well, actually you don't need all of them, because cycle, held item to the left, you probably don't need that. You only need one of these directions, so we're going to get rid of one and replace it with the other. So we only have cycle held item to the left. That's all we get. We just get to go left and not right. Boom, only 7 controls left, but then you're like, oh, but what about these ones? You kind of need all of these to click out. Well, no, you don't need, to have all of these actually, because inventory, that's not so useful. Let's get rid of that one as well. So replace it with the right bumper, and then, replace, move it back to where it was. So actually, I guess we'll go with left bumper there, and then left bumper like that. Boom, no inventory, because do you need to open your inventory to play Minecraft? You don't need to, it's just kind of nice. So gone, inventory's gone. Crafting, you might argue, no, you really need that, but technically not, for reasons I'll get into later. Boom, we'll get rid of crafting, and then you can even look at stuff like, jump and say, actually, not really necessary either. You could always use slabs, and you could always like make staircases, so you get rid of that one as well. And I believe once you've done this, so we'll put our item right back there, I believe once you've done this, you have the least controls possible needed to play Minecraft. And again, you might look at that and say, no, Toycat, you can't play Minecraft with just 4 controls. Like just being able to drop item, even dropping items, you can argue isn't necessary, but it is for proper inventory organization without an inventory. But yeah, then you might say like, Toycat, this is a little bit excessive. 4 controls is not enough, but actually you can play the game just fine. You might think, how can you craft them? Well, the way you can craft and get everything done is you need to find crafting tables. So you can't make these yourself until you find one naturally in the game, but it is actually possible to find these because all you have to do is find an NPC village. Crafting tables can spawn naturally, so all you have to do is find your way to one of these, break your way through the window, and then press left trigger, and now you can craft. So if I chop down that tree over there, we get some wood, we can now craft that, and we can make crafting tables wherever we want, and then once you've done that, you can then craft yourself some slabs or some stairs, and once you've done that, you now no longer need the jump. So yeah, this is the least number of controls needed to play Minecraft, because instead of going up and down with a jump, you have to literally place a slab every time. It's really terrifying, it's really serious, and it means that if somehow you run out of slabs when you're down a level, you just lose the game instantly. It creates more game mode conditions, which is a little bit... Sorry, my fire alarm went off. It's a little bit ridiculous, and that's what makes this so fun, in my opinion, though. The fact that only 4 controls means that your game over states are so much harder to find, because from your spawn, you have to find one of these, NPC villages. If you don't find one with a crafting table, you lose. If you can't make it there, without losing too many layers, you lose. And if you can't then always have a supply of half slabs on you, like this, or you can't always have a supply of stairs, or just some way to get up and down, then you will lose the game. And that's crazy to me, but it is still technically possible, outside of those extra extra, game over conditions to win the game like this. So yeah, once you've picked your 4 controls, which again, I think you could actually, you could argue that instead of having the drop button, it might be more useful to have the inventory, because you can craft from there if you really want to. Again, that's kind of your call on how you want to decide that. But yeah, if we get rid of the drop or inventory and replace them around, so let's say this is B instead, then once you've got your 4 controls, which I believe these are the 4 you absolutely need to play the game, then you might, because maybe if you played with like classic crafting on, you wouldn't need that. But point being, once you've got all of these and you've got the things you need to actually play the game, then then you want to like maybe organize them and make them a bit more interesting. So for instance, I think one of the ways you could do this is to have, so let's do this in like that instead. You could have all the 4 controls be on the triggers and the buttons. This means you don't need your face buttons, A, B, X, Y, at all. You don't need the sticks besides just to move and walk, and that's kind of a fun way to do things. Or if you prefer to do things like this, you could do everything on the face button. So we could be like, use is on X, action is on B, and then inventory is on, we'll have that on A because we've got to mix things up, and then cycle held left item on Y, and then you could have everything be on the face buttons, no triggers needed. So if you only have, your 2 thumbs, then, or if you want to play with your 2 thumbs, then you technically can with this because you set everything to be like it is. And now look at this, we can play the game using our thumb buttons. This isn't actually quite as interesting to look at because again, all of it's happening behind the screens, but it is sorry, behind the scenes. But it's still a very, very wacky way to play Minecraft. And if you want to challenge yourself, if you want to ruin the game for yourself to make it harder, then here is how you do that most effectively using controls. I'm going to be doing this in a stream, maybe not this extreme, but some extreme like no controls thing later on today, and seeing if we can get far in Minecraft or like get to the nether or like get to some goal. So make sure you check that out. But for now, I hope you did all enjoy this video. I hope some of you too want to destroy Minecraft, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, make sure you check out all the other videos I've been uploading, and also bell me. It's good for you. It feeds your soul or something like that. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. This is crazy, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.